love both board and video games, so I'm absolutely thrilled about the digital deck building trend of recent years. I recently reviewed Marvel's Midnight Suns, which had deck building elements that I absolutely loved and a fun plot line to boot. However, sometimes I just want to get down to business and play cards. Recently, I've been getting that fix by playing Monster Train. I played Monster Train on my Nintendo Switch, but you can also get it for Windows, Xbox, and iOS. Monster Train is a roguelike deck builder with an absolutely absurd plotline. For some reason, you are commanding hordes of demons from hell on a heroic quest to relight the fires of hell. In order to achieve this, you all board a multi-story train that contains the pyre, or the last remnant of hellfire that you need to transport. If your enemies, who are angels, manage to destroy the pyre, then the game ends and you have failed the run. If you successfully make it, well, the game isn't really over because there are plenty of faction combinations and challenges to keep you coming back for more. There are 5 different factions in Monster Train that you can unlock over time, and while I will leave you to discover their individual delights, I will say that they all play very differently. One faction is all about quick, brutal damage. Another is more of a slow burn, while yet another is based on power-ups that can only be acquired by cannibalizing your allies. On every run, you will choose a primary faction and champion, as well as a secondary supporting faction. You'll also be able to upgrade your cards, acquire interesting power-ups, and add to or prune your deck as you make your infernal journey. As you learn to tinker with your cards and deck, you'll develop an appreciation for a number of different keywords and combos. I really enjoyed visiting the upgrade shops, mainly because I wanted to know more about the creepy yet endearing cats who ran them. One thing I've come to love about digital deck builders is that they can easily do something that an analog board game cannot, which is effortlessly change the stats on the cards in a number of different ways. On top of the card play, there are very interesting tactical elements to Monster Train. Your enemies will progress from floor to floor, climbing towards your pyre, and you'll need to muster the right combinations of defenders to stop them. The order in which your monsters and their heavenly enemies are placed will also have a huge impact on the outcomes of every attack, because typically whoever is in the front of a line gets attacked first, unless you have cards that let you target enemies in the back. Those tactical considerations really matter, both in terms of the outcome of combat and of the effects on your cards. I also very much like the level of challenge offered by Monster Train. It is possible to make the game easier for yourself by getting cool powers, but the game is still never truly easy. While you can do some wildly powerful stuff with your cards, the enemies push back really hard, and your victories feel earned. The unlocks throughout the game are spaced out enough to keep you coming back for more, but they also feel fair. I knew I would eventually be able to unlock all the factions just by being persistent, and I also appreciated the feeling of getting better at the game as I played enough to gain some mastery. Monster Train has much to admire, with very few drawbacks. One thing to know going in is that it is truly roguelike. Your enemies will have slightly different ability combinations each time you play, and each run will offer you different configurations of bonuses and upgrades throughout the run. If you absolutely love deck construction and you like to put a lot of planning into your card combinations, this game might occasionally frustrate you because you will need to make a lot of decisions on the fly. You can't guarantee that any specific card will be offered to you when you have the chance to add to your deck, and you also don't know when or in what order you will see various upgrades. There's even an artifact in this game that I used one time, absolutely loved having on the run, and then I've never seen it again. I've accepted this as the nature of Monster Train, but I'd also be lying if I said it did not occasionally frustrate me. Also, while this is not necessarily a big deal to me, Monster Train has decent but forgettable production values. I played the game yesterday, and I can barely remember what the champions or boss enemies look like, and I would not recognize the music if someone else were playing the game across the room. But the aesthetics are not my priority. These are passable, but I'm in this for the card play. Overall, Monster Train is an absolutely tremendous digital card game, and I wholeheartedly recommend it to anyone who is a fan of deck builders. You will get hours and hours of good gameplay out of this one, with plenty of new things to discover as you go along. Why go to hell in a handbasket when you can go in a demonic train instead? If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please like, subscribe, comment, donate to my Patreon if you're feeling generous, and most of all, happy gaming.